YALI TV, my name is Stephen Selassie Esio. We are right here at the African Union Mission Headquarters or Head Office right here in DC. And that's 1640, right? And we are very grateful to have a special, exclusive moment with the ambassador, Her Excellency Ambassador Hilda Suka-Mafudze, who is the permanent representative of the African Union Mission here to the United States. It's such an honor to be here, and we are expecting that by the time we end this interview, you'll be energized, informed, and you'll be ready to carry the mantle of ensuring that Africa gets to the point we need to get to. It's good to have you on YALI TV this day, madam.
No, thank you for having me. Whenever it comes to issues to speak about our continent, I'm so excited. So I welcome any questions that we can come up with.
Thank you so much for your inputs and your speech during the YALI Attend Virtual Summit. They were very explosive and informative. Thank you so much for participating in it. I'm very, very sure fellow YALI fellows across the continent, the State Department, and the Wilson Center were very excited to have you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
All right, so I would like to first of all ask this question. What was your impression of the Young African Leaders Initiative? And over the past decade, we celebrated 10 years recently, and we are now 11 years. What has been your impression of the impact of this program over the past years?
Yeah, you know, it was so exciting just being a participant in the 10 years that YALI has been in existence. And this is a program which I think if we really shape ourselves and make a difference and want to make the difference that we want in Africa, it will be a program that will strengthen us, make us a people at the end of the day. As the representative of the African Union into the United States, first I want to articulate gratitude of the African Union and the member states for the long-standing a good relationship with the United States of America.
Right.
And the United States of America, the government of the United States, I really would want to appreciate that. The key initiatives, such as YALI, directed to our youth population to enhance leadership skills, that is very important. Increase of close collaboration among their US youth counterpart is of great significance. There's no opportunity like having someone want to teach you the ropes. This is life-changing, I should put it that way. I personally commend the YALI program. Given the population of the youth on the continent, the vibrant youth that is yearning to go, that is yearning to grow, that is yearning to make a difference, active, and which, as we may all of us know, is doubling in 2050. And the technology advancement which we are looking at, there's room for new initiatives. And the YALI could be our anchor to make those differences. This is a shared responsibility, particularly in my office under its mandates. AU is ready to advance talks concerning new initiatives aimed at engaging the youth population and support the existing ones, like YALI. It's also our steadfast commitment. So with that, I say we have quite a number of the youth on the continent, and who actually are looking to be involved in issues that make a difference, in issues that make them a people of tomorrow. Don't forget, today we're building a society that will carry on what we've worked on. We're already, YALI to me is building you young people to shape the Africa that we want, that we're talking of at each and every time. I hope I've answered you.
That was wonderful. You know, in your initial statement that you just finished right now, you made mention that there's an explosion. Young people are growing, we are passionate, we want to make a difference. In a bigger nutshell, we have a responsibility towards the global economy.
Yes.
Africa is a very critical player when it comes to the global economy. Yes. What will be your advice to young Africans, both on the continent and diaspora, of their contribution towards Africa becoming that powerhouse when it comes to global economics?
I must say, thank you for that question. I must say, all the times lately, in my contributions, I'm saying Africa needs to be at the center of decision-making of the globe. And how do we do that? And how do we maintain that? We get there, how do we get there? Right. And how do we maintain when we are there? It's these the young people whom we are grooming today. My advice on that is never think there will be tomorrow for me to make that difference. The time is now. Someone said, when will leaders lead? When will the youth lead? They have to be nurtured to be the leaders of tomorrow. This is the time that we have to shape that. Yes, that's how I look at it.
You made mention of technology, just a quick follow-up to this.
Yes.
Currently, there's a boom in Africa where we're having a lot of technological business platforms. For example, we have Jumia in Africa, which was recently listed on the New York Stock Exchange. We have Uber, we have Bolt, we have recently we have a number of apps. We have Yango. We have delivery apps that are coming, and interestingly, they come from entrepreneurs who are not of African origin, but they are traveling Africa. What will be the way, or what do you see being the efforts that young people can put into immediately salvage the image? Because what it means is that that causes an economic imbalance, because most of the investment and the returns don't stay on the continent. Yes. What should be our effort as young people, especially in this technological boom generation?
Technological boom, sorry to mention it, at the moment. And also, I would say, in those numbers that I talked of the youth, that we are having a boom. You know, the advantage of that is having, in those multitudes of those youths that we have, there are different people who have different expertise, which they can run with,
right,
and they make that difference. I would want to thank even our forefathers. Before getting into thanking our forefathers, to say they shaped what we have today, which we are calling the African Union. Yeah. And us, what we are doing right now is to shape it so that you young people can take it further. This technology is growing. It's making a difference. We are now calling on you a teacher every 10. Can you help me here? I don't understand. How can I do with my my phone? How can I make my smartphone? How can I make it work like this and that and that? And you are there for us. And I'm saying what it means now. Our generation and your generation were at a certain level, but we have set up. Our forefathers have set up a stage for us to move, for us to make this a difference. In the answering your, let me get into the first, where you say the global economic balance. Yeah. The foundation upon which the forefathers of OAU, African Union, was built was, and it's still Pan-Africanism, whose ambition was and is still unity coming together, solidarity, coordination, intensification of cooperation among its member states, and international cooperation. This is the message I reiterate to you, the African youth. And what does it mean? If I can take it further, I will get to your question of technology and having the business and the being taken while we watch. And why did we set what we have at the stage at the moment? And they're saying Africa is the thing. It's the next frontier.
Right.
And how do we get to be the next frontier? It's through the youth. It's through you young people for us to get there. Our countries are rich in natural resources. Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
And that we are all endowed by our beautiful continent. That is our continent. These are a source of economic livelihood. Therefore, youth unity, solidarity, and cooperation in their day-to-day is imperative to enable business transactions around the continent, hence balancing the economy. I still have your question. How do we get there?
Yeah.
Remember, technology has erased the boundaries. We are allowing everyone to come wherever in the setup, and we can be able to set up anywhere in the world. But for us, the good thing was saying, we are allowing even our diaspora, those who came from time immemorial, and those who are here, who have come to study, and all, we have set the stage for you. I said it has erased the boundaries, this technology. Not only in the Western world, but in Africa as well. Thus, the sky is the limit for the youth's opportunities. These are opportunities for you. It's to grow our thinking. And they say, just be excited that the stage has been set. And what are we supposed to do? To be players at that stage. That's what we are required to do right now. And they shape it into the future and the Africa that we want. The Africa that you want is the youth. So I'm saying there are opportunities. Another key thing to remind the African youth is that the African Union and its member states have made available the means to which they must easily pursue ideas of their interests.
Right.
To this conversation's purpose, here are a few examples, let me put it this way, of those means. The envoy of youth, who represent the voices of the youth around the continent and in the diaspora. Through this representative, the ideas, opportunities, and issues are conveyed by the person, the envoy, who has youth's first-hand information. Because this is the how that you have asked it. How do we get there? How do we get to be the owners? How do we show we belong? This is ours. How do we get the belonging? Is to be players at the stage, as I've said, and to be players in coming up with the youth envoy who runs with the issues. Initiatives like 1 million youth by 2021 of the chairperson of the African Union Commission. This initiative seeks meaningful empowerment of the youth population of Africa. And don't forget, I think in Africa we have our sayings, where we say, I give you the ropes. And we usually just say, I give you a rod to go and fish. I don't give you the fish, but I give you the rod. So by setting the stage, it's to giving you the rod to go and fish. And we are saying in that, and with this technology that you are so conversant with, which we are not, but you are so conversant in, find your space. You are never given this space. Let me put it that way. In politics, me having the background of politics, I'll tell you, you demand it. It is yours. Go and sit there and say, here I am. I want to do it this way. 1, 2, 3. Let me take it further and say, finally, the flagship projects of Agenda 2063 for the interest of time. Let me mention the African Continental Free Trade Area.
Very, very critical.
That one is a critical, that goes into the business that you're talking about right now. To say the technology. You know, my heart also like says to me, oh my God, it's so touching to hear my child talking of how do we become the owners tomorrow. These are the stages that you have to set for yourselves. The unity, the solidarity, the coming together. Don't be jealous of each other. Because if you become jealous, I think you have read some of these jokes that go around to say everyone has their direction in life. And what direction is it? You are doing whatever you are doing right now. Someone has it in themselves to say, I want us to try this, the Uber that you're talking about. I want us to try the Uber. And I think I can coordinate all of you. We come together. And everyone, for example, is paying $10. And let's see what it gets us to. Or train ourselves on how we can be owners of that Uber. I don't want you to start by, that's me, subject to discussion, of course. That's me. I don't want you to think we have to be given resources for us to do things. Yes, we can be given the resources.
Learn how to generate resources.
Let's be able to generate resources. I know each one of us, everywhere, you know, one of you, the younger people, we have those little pocket money that we get from our parents. Let's make good use of that. Tell yourselves, yes, I wanted a new shed. But my friend is saying he has an idea. He says he wants us to train about the issue of the Uber. Because we want to start with our one car on the continent. And in which country do we start? And in which country do we start with this technology that we would want to build? Whether it's one car or 2 cars. But my friend is saying, let's come together and do the training. And he needs just $10. Be there and do that. You start small and you start nurturing yourselves into building a bigger thing. No companies that you see, the corporations that we grow up seeing on the continent were built overnight. They were not built with millions. Maybe it was just an idea from someone with these $200 and it developed. Like-minded came together and said, let's do this. And they tell me even here in the US, how many of the youths are you here? Just here. I'm not talking of those in the continent, just in Washington, D.C. Develop that where you say, we will do part of the finance of what has to be done. $5, just put it together. I know it's hard to get the $5, I know that. Put it together and build on something. Just imagine all of us, as we talk of the Africa we want, we are talking of integration on the continent, and we are talking of digitalization on the continent. We are talking of, we want everything, infrastructure, be on the continent. There are very different ways of getting the infrastructure and putting it in place. All of us contribute just that $10. All of us, including me, everyone, not maybe you, the youths who are still at school, but everyone who is working, let's contribute $10 every month. Everyone. And let's begin with 1 month. Tell me how much we will have. That's a lot of money.
That'll be a huge company.
That's a big corporation that we can start with. That's my advice. One, show up in your life. And in showing up, you are also telling yourselves, if I want to build, those who have money, when they see you have a very good project, in the mindset, the direction that you want to take,
you have the right strategies.
You have the right strategies, funding will be there for you. For that what you want. But be a people who say, let's build on the security. So that when you build on the security is to say, If we buy that one Uber car of ours, which goes to the continent, we don't want to lose it and we don't want to mess it with it because it's ours. You have that conviction. Right. That's the security. And you will see so many organizations coming to the fore, coming to help people, to shape it up and make it bigger. Even on the continent, to make it bigger. So I said, this is how you should do it.
Wow. Wow.
That's how I look at it.
Wow. Those were really deep cogitations and information you gave us. And we are still on YALI TV, and I believe you are listening to what Her Excellency has been saying over the past few minutes. I've been listening passionately, and I'm taking my notes. I'm going to rewatch this myself to take notes, and I believe you are also listening. Your Excellency, something interesting popped up, which I'll ask to close, but I would love you to throw light on. How could we engage young Africans in the diaspora to connect to the motherland, especially those who have never been to the continent before? What role can we young people play to connect them, to ensure that the few points you mentioned, they also begin to identify it, because we all have a role to play to ensure Africa becomes stronger than before?
Yes, and as I mentioned, what I said earlier, it also goes into the question that you are asking at the moment. I'll give you an answer, but to begin with, I think you're looking at business here. The African Continental Free Trade Area, its aim is to drive Africa's sustainable development, particularly for women and youth in Africa. In support of this viewpoint, I want to assure the youth that all these initiatives are practical. That I mentioned, they're very practical.
Very, very practical.
Very practical. As you may be aware, the African Continental Free Trade Area was launched on January 1 this year, 2021. And this year, and 36 African member states endorsed their commitment. Out of those 34 are already offering their trade services in line with the engagement. And you should be found there, doing what you have to do. I would say, your last question, I'll tell you, there are very easy ways for having the youth to connect. And it's you, the younger people, who can make that difference. Why don't you arrange just trips to go on the continent? Tourism, through tourism. Right now I'm just talking of tourism. We're not getting into business, maybe. Yeah. Having the appreciation of those in the diaspora. Some are born here. Some are born on the continent. But some came young. Some came to study when they were only 19, 18. They had no appreciation yet of their continent. And they learn to do things together, the solidarity that I mentioned earlier. Take tourism escapades on the continent for that appreciation. If you want to seek guidance on how you can go about that, the office is here.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
We can make on the drive. That depends on the areas that you want to see. We can tell you, in such a country, there's a place like this, there's this endowment. In each and every country on the continent, there are endowments. Talk of the Victoria Falls.
Awesome.
Yes. Talk of
the castles
and all that in Ghana.
The pyramids in
the
Egypt.
Pyramids in Egypt. All those are areas that need you to encourage your other youth fellows to go and appreciate that and say we are endowed. Let them speak this language with conviction and say, yes, we are endowed. And yes, the resources are in Africa. Let them say that. It begins with you. Get them to tour the continent, and they show that excitement, and they run with that excitement, and they pull others. And you will be surprised when you start that. It can be a business. Start to arrange yourselves to go to the continent. Start with a certain number, and it will By word of voice, it will, yeah. And you will be getting more people who go to the continent. And it can be run as a business. That's a business as well on its own.
That's a big business.
It's a big business, just on its own, for the youth to go. We will facilitate to make sure whatever countries that you are getting into, they know that these young people who are coming to appreciate what we have and what we are endowed with. They will be happy to do that.
Sounds interesting and exciting. And you know, we have a new African Youth Envoy. And then also African Youth Month, November, being our mother, right here in the United States. What would be your statement of commemoration that you would love to share with us? So as we celebrate this, we'll hear that ring in our minds coming from you.
Okay, yeah, I would want to say the youth's resilience in times of hardship, such as these times during the global pandemic, gives me assurance that Africa and the world has a strong foundation. You are the foundation.
Right.
For a better world, generations and after generations. I just want to just put that across and say Africa is stronger when its population is entirely involved at all levels of its social economy. Aspiration 6 of Agenda 2063 says in Africa whose development is people-driven, who will drive? It's the young people. People-driven. And we have the energy today. It's you. And you are opening your eyes and you want to see what can we do. Especially with the issue you talked of this technology and saying some coming to build. It's you to say, how do I do it? How do I get myself to doing that? Driven, people driven, relying on the potential of the African people, especially its women and youth, and caring for children. That's our future generations. We have to nurture them today to make that difference today. Consequently, I say, African youth, take this aspiration and make it your narrative during your entire life. That way we will attain the Africa we want.
Wow. I want to say on behalf of the youth of Africa here in the diaspora and back home, thank you very much, Ambassador. We are really, really grateful for the time we had with you. And I trust that we'll watch this again and again and again to make sure we imbibe every point that was given us, that you carefully thought about and handed over to us through this interview. This qualifies for a masterclass. So if you were watching this interview, this special edition with Her Excellency Ambassador Hilda Suka-Mafudze was specially brought to you by YALI TV right here at the African Union Mission Office in Washington, D.C. And I hope you have been intrigued, educated, informed, and we want you to keep watching YALI TV for more exclusive sections. And as the ambassador said, the office here is open for every African in the diaspora right here in the United States. Don't miss the opportunity. There's so much to learn. There are many policies available. You can come here for information sections just to know what you need to do as a young African to play your role in achieving Agenda 2063. Thank you for watching, and it's bye for now.